So tonight I thought I would talk a little bit about how to do healing. How many are healers? Yeah, pretty much everybody. Anybody not who doesn't do any healing? Well, Naj, you're in for a treat. Hello, Joe. Hello, Joyce. Hi there.
Hello. How are you?
Hi.
So good to have you all.
Happy to be here. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, I was just letting everybody know I was going to work with some tips on doing healing tonight for, I have some people in mind, but I don't see the people who I was going to provide the healing to here. So we may use someone else as a model. Actually, what do you do? What type of healer are you? I'm sorry, Iris. I'm looking at Iris and saying Ashley.
Yeah, I'm a sound healing.
Nice. Yeah, good harmonics.
Mm-hmm.
Good vibrations. From long ago, meeting the sun. I don't know if Ashley and Rika or Kimber want to talk, but maybe you could chat if you don't want to. I wanted to see what you ladies do in terms of healing, or if you are not experienced with it.
Yeah, hey, it's Ash. I mostly just provide Reiki level 2 just to people who want it. I'm not a professional, but that's what I do.
Right. That's an important service. I think that everybody ought to learn how to do that, and we all ought to offer it to each other in service when called upon to do so, or when not called upon to do so. Just send it out in general, to everybody you meet and everybody you think could use some, and then they can take it or not. That's their choice. On the other end, they don't have to receive it, but most people take it. I've run into very few people who won't take healing energy. Sometimes there are some, but not very often, and I've only had 2 turn it down. At one point, I'd only had 1 turn it down, but recently I found another one that turned it down. So I've been doing this for 20 some odd years, and that's in 20 years, I've had 2 people who their souls didn't want it. So I didn't send it to them. And it doesn't matter what their personality wants, it matters what their souls want, because their souls will take it often, whether their personalities would care to receive it or not. So go with their soul. Their soul's in charge and knows more than their personality does. It doesn't mean you walk up to them and put your hands on them, although sometimes I do that too. And I usually get pretty good results with that as well. Sometimes I have sat in a class and put my hands on the person in front of me because their back was hurting so bad, and put energy right into their back. And when they got, when we reached break time, they said, "I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. That feels so good." So, strange man in front of me whose back was screaming for help. Reached up, put my hand on him. I sat there putting energy into throughout the class. Well, for about an hour. And then I had people lining up at the door at night wanting to get some of that energy you were distributing earlier today at my hotel room. But you'll be led and guided who to give it to. It's like you know who you should give it to because they do scream at you. Their energy says, me, please, I could use some of that. And sometimes you feel them coming from miles away and you know them when you see them that, yeah, that person was sent because I'm sending out healing energy every day. This is all of us. We're all sending out healing energy every day. Our energy becomes healing. You do healing work, and that's what your energy becomes. So you're constantly giving out that message to people. This is who I am. This is what I do. And they respond to that. And some of them plan months in advance how to meet you at the right time in the right place, even if they're not consciously planning it. How many of you feel like you've had all the initiations you need? No one. They're a group of guides that have come in that want to provide some initiations before we actually start doing the healings. All right, here comes one. It's from the 386 parallel dimension. Okay, so why there? Because the stars of that universe align very differently than they do here, and it has an extra kick to it. What's the kick? Thank you, Michelle. Hi, Christine. So the extra kick, they tell me, is that the star, the sun, had a different gravitational pull, and the it's more going toward a redder color than our sun. Our sun has that more yellowish tint to it, although it also has orange and red. But this star is going more toward the red spectrum, and that has a different type of vitality. It's also because it has changed the gravitational pull of what's around it, repositioned itself a bit, and what were the planets around it have come closer into the sun. And it's drawing things closer to it. It has a very steady pulse. So we're going to give you that healing energy from a different type of sun, a sun in a different phase of existence. Different star. And here it comes. So those of you meant to receive it will get it very strongly. Those of you who want to have the healing from it will receive that. That is powerful. A lot of pulsing. So I got the word pulsar. It's a pulsar. You're getting pulsar energy. It's going to change your electromagnetic field. You may feel it like a bump as it takes from out of your body in and across your electromagnetic field. You're going to have a reversal of polarity and then a change back. So it may feel unusual when it reverses polarity and then goes back. That's causing a cleansing process in both those receiving it as an initiation and those receiving it as healing. And then there are changes occurring in everyone's body to accommodate this electromagnetic shift. It'll make you a stronger, more powerful healer. And bring another depth into the quantity and quality of what you provide. For those receiving it as healing, it's in your DNA. Working at a quantum level. Does everyone know what a pulsar is? Are there people who do not know what a pulsar is? Okay.
Not for sure. I just got an image before you even said pulsar of these like waves of like bands of white light, almost like concentric circles coming out.
It's a highly magnetized rotating neutron star that emits beams of electromagnetic radiation out of its magnetic poles.
Is that all?
That's what you're getting. Is anybody getting warm? A little warmer? You may feel that in a moment. There is definitely some sac-like, pocket-like and sac-like pieces in your body. Anywhere that has a pocket or a sac-like quality to it, say your gallbladder, your alveoli in your lungs, those types of things are really resonating with this energy. They look like they want to turn inside out and then turn back in again. So they are clearing out. It may cause a few people to have some restroom experiences later today or tonight or into tomorrow. It's cleansing. Okay, your poles, north to south, are going to reverse and then reverse again and then do it again. It's like your crown is going into your feet and your feet are going up above your head, and then that keeps switching as it rotates. And then it's stabilizing and you're getting a gyroscope quality. If you were a compass, you'd be going. And it's Blow out, blow, everybody blow. So everybody's getting the healing. Most of you are getting the download, the initiation. Good. Stabilizing. Not quite everybody yet, but many of you are beginning to stabilize. And the atomic, subatomic particles in your body are shifting a bit. You will momentarily become radioactive, and that will subside. And then another pulse of radioactive type of energy, and then that will subside. Okay. How many of you felt like you got the initiation? I can't see everybody, so put a little hand up or something.
How do you know the difference?
Did you feel like everything in of you turned inside out and came back around?
Well, yeah, almost like a little bit of like vertical vertigo and like a quickening.
To me, that felt like the initiatory part of it. Probably would have been just a little less so if you got the healing part of it. I think you will instinctively know. Let's do it this way. Everybody put the energy on one hand. You've got it, so put it in your hand. If it appears, this pulsing red energy in your hand. Have you all got pulsing red energy in your hand? Good. Anybody not have pulsing red energy in their hand?
Mine isn't pulsing, it's more like translucent, and it's there are two. There's like a very bright, vibrant, translucent red, and then there's a much darker red. Really, like almost like a blood red after it's started to dry, like really dark red.
That still is an effect of the pulsing. It's the one, the small one that is pulsing out, and the energy that it radiates is the other color. That's the way it feels to me. All right, take your hand. Put some energy in yourself. See what happens. Feels really powerful to me. Whew. Hi, Allie. Judy. How did it feel when you put it into yourself?
Warm and smooth, really smooth, nurturing.
Good. Elizabeth.
So I felt it penetrate into all of my cells of the body, and then it kind of like flooded out into my fields. That's what I felt.
I think that's one of its qualities, is it's so radiant that if you take it in, it automatically radiates outward. It just will. Neil, how did you do?
Well, I'm honestly not sure if I got the initiation or the healing, but just when I held my hand up high, I just felt like there was a lot of heat. And that's the most I can say.
Coming out of your hand?
Yeah, or between my hand and my head. Yeah.
Well, you're glowing red, so. And your whole core has it in there, and you have that radiant quality. It's really pulsing in you. So I see it calm down a little bit and pulse out again and pulse out further. And a lot of you seem to have that going on. How about you, Ashley? What was that like?
I felt a lot of like similar experiences where I felt like warmth in my hands, that it was very smooth, that it was really like stable, you know, I didn't have to focus really.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And Michael, I saw you smiling a lot.
Yes, very powerful energies. I'm here with my friend Mindy, and just always amazed at the different energies and powers out there if we just tune ourselves into them. And so I appreciate you being a guide to us.
It's unlimited. There is no end. Allie, what we did is we received an initiation from a pulsar star, and it was quite an experience. So everybody, how about sending Allie some of that energy? Anybody else just joined us? Judy, I believe, just joined us recently. Send Judy some of it, let them experience it. If you can make it initiatory, do it. And there are a number of you who can. Good for you. Nos feels it.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
I'm feeling an intensity of the discomfort I was already feeling, rather than having it be a positive experience. And I'm not sure why that would
Because it was very strong.
be.
Sometimes when it's very strong, it can cause something that's already hurting to hurt a little more. But you can modify the energy slightly, like hold back from it just a bit and give it to yourself in a softer state, and it will actually make you feel better. You received the initiation, so you will be able to do that.
Okay, thank you for that.
All right, looks like people are still sending to Allie and Judy. Judy, how's that for you? You can type it. And while we're waiting to see if Judy's going to be able to type it, Allie, how did that go for you?
Wow. Hello everyone. It's so good to be here. Thank you so much for those who participated in sending energy and sharing. That was lovely. I don't know how much of it was residual. I did feel this beautiful, almost crystalline, like etheric force kind of moving and almost kind of impressing upon me, almost like some kind of I don't know, it almost felt like a putty, like a kind of filler. And I feel like something was kind of pressing itself all around and kind of almost like if there was some kind of chips in a surface. I don't know why I'm getting almost like this image of repairing a crystal, and maybe there's an epoxy that can go over to kind of create a filling in the ridges and the little chips or whatever, and it smooths it out. That's what I was feeling. And so it was really nice. And there was like this red, maybe you mentioned red earlier, I guess you did, kind of like this this red color, and it went between almost like a porous material and then this more dense and crystalline material that was more composite. And it felt very fortifying, and I feel incredibly grounded and lifted at the same time, and almost like I had a nap, and I know I didn't. It's really nice. So thank you. It's really nice.
Excellent. Good job, everybody. You did well. And it was neat that she could see the color. And Yvonne, you talked about the initial red center of it and then the radiant light out around it, more translucent red color. It feels like she's completely covered in that radiant energy that went out from the center of people who received the initiation. And it was almost everyone that was able to send that out. So Judy says she doesn't know what happened, so she came in later. So what we did, Judy, is we had an initiation, and this is also for Greg. We had an initiation from pulsar star that is in a later stage of development than the star for our solar system is. And it was a very powerful initiation and delivered to all of us another dimension for our healing ability. So anyone want to initiate Judy? Let's see who can do an initiation with it for an individual like that. Got a volunteer? Christine? Go.
Yeah, I can try.
Ooh, there you go. That's a steady stream. And it is pulsing like crazy. Feel like it's slowing some down. Christine, like it's slowing. Yeah, it feels like it's slowing. Good. So Judy, the name of the star, we don't have one for it. It came from another dimension, the 387th parallel dimension, which why from there, they didn't tell me that, only that it did. But it was meant as a connector also between the dimensions for us. So some of you will be experience visitations from guides from that not the solar system, but that universe. So they don't look like us, but you'll know them when you see them. You may see them in dreams. Some of you may see them when you're awake. All right, Iris, would you like to try to add on to anything for that initiation for Judy? Greg, do you wish to receive it?
Not today.
Okay. Then Iris will add on.
Add on to Judy.
Add on to, we had the initiation come for Christine. I just feel like there's some elements that you received there that are a little bit different from what Christine received, only because each of us is an individual and unique. And if you also provide the initiation to her, she will get both.
To Judy or to Christy?
To Judy.
Okay.
There you go. Nice. Very nice. And not as strong because it didn't need to be. She's already had the initiation. It just had those additional elements in it that you happen to have awakened in you when you received the initiation. And Christine, could you feel Iris doing it?
Yes.
Isn't it? And different.
Yeah.
Slightly different from what you did. So Judy, what did you experience? She'll probably need a moment to type that. Hello, Kat. Oh, not here yet. Did the two seem slightly different to you? Judy said waves in chin, throat, and heart. Yes, Judy, the second one was more subtle because you already had a base of the information. So that was exactly correct. Thank you, Allie. I'm glad your vision improved. I think some more people have some improvements that they'll notice as well. You might feel brighter and more pulled together. It's a heavier and more dense energy than what our star pulls out. So it tends to consolidate you better is another feeling that I'm getting. So if you tend to get out of your body, this will help you stay in your body better. Good thing. All right. So that wasn't at all what I was going to start doing, but that's what we ended up with. We'll move on. So we seem to have other stars lining up that want to give us peace offerings from themselves. I count 6. So here comes the first one. I am not going to give them an A. What I am going to do is, yes, and more coherent across the board. That is correct, Ellie. This first star, I'm not going to tell you what star it is, but you may or may not know. If you get the name of it, you can say it. It is giving you a download. The download is informational about the solar system it comes from, but it also contains another healing element that it's going to give to you on a permanent basis. It's a different color. The star has a comet that passes very close to it fairly often. The rotation around it is often. So it has a wide elliptical type of travel path. And the comet is going to send you some energy as well. It's going to feel different than the star. It says, hello, time to share. So you're getting the star energy. And then the comet energy. There will be some commingling because they consider themselves a pair. They're always together. Most of you look like you have stars shooting out of you now. You're making baby stars. Good. Seems to be slowing down. Good. Kimber or Kat, do you want to share? It's okay if you don't want to speak, or you could type in or not. Kimber,
Feels really awesome.
could you tell?
Feels really awesome. Just a swirling energy, different than the first. And just feels really smooth and subtle.
Very good. Yes, it is more subtle than the other was. Still can move mountains with this energy. You really could. At the same time, it doesn't push or pulse, or it's more like a slow moving landslide moving across and changing the landscape, but slowly. Yet powerfully. Kat, did you have anything?
I just came in not long ago, so I'm just kind of listening.
Okay. What we started out to do was I was going to give tips on doing healing, and all of a sudden there were these stars appeared and wanted to give initiations to people. So we are all receiving initiation from the stars that we can then take that energy and use it to help other people or ourselves heal. So when we receive the initiation, we will then be able to convey that energy out to other people. Joyce, how about you?
I'm not sure that I felt anything, so.
Send me some energy. Send me, there you go. That's the same energy.
Well, that's nice to know that I got it and that I can send it.
Send it to the two ladies that's labeled Rosalind and Jack, and let them feel you sending it to them. Feel that, ladies? Yeah. You got it.
Well, thank you.
Just because we're not fully aware that we received something doesn't mean we didn't get it. Or that we can't use it, because we can. You can accomplish a lot of healing without distinctly feeling it coming out of you. That's just the way it works. Go Joyce, that's right. Good. Neil, how about you?
Let's see. What's the question at this point?
What did you feel, and do you think you could convey that to someone?
Yeah, I mean, with the star, I was feeling like I was kind of feeling it coming in where my horns would be, or sort of kind of in the temples. And then with the comet, that switched. I can't remember where now. It might have been more frontal or something, but it was
A distinctly different feel,
yeah.
because they're not the same. That's another thing that it's trying to show us, that there is consciousness behind all things. And these beings have distinctly different personalities and qualities to them. And they're sharing that with us. That's very powerful. Anybody have any idea what the name of that star was? Iris.
What came to me, I'm not 100% sure if it is, but what came to me was Kanda Morius. So before you said there's actually a comet, or before I understood that there's a star and a comet, I got two words, Kanda and Morius. And when I received the energy, it felt like an energetic togetherness, a levitation created by both, the relationship between them.
Yes, they play off each other to achieve their own enlightenment. It's really wonderful, the way they coexist. Elizabeth.
Well, the name I got was Vega.
And does that name have specific meaning to you?
Well, I know it's a star in our solar system and it's linked to Lyra, the constellation Lyra, and that does have significance for me. And then just recently, I'm feeling another star that wants to come in, and it's a blue star.
Good, I feel it too.
And I don't know, I get some sort of name like Rieger or something, Riker, I don't know, something like that. But I felt a paler yellow for me in terms of a color for Vega, and very soft, beautiful, loving, Christed type of energy coming from this star that I'm just going to call Vega, and Christ light emanating from the constellation of Lyra and Vega. And I felt the comet more like a laser beam of energy that was more forceful and like targeted. More, I don't know how to express myself concerning this. It was a more targeted, like a laser beam type of energy that I felt from the comet. It felt different than the star.
Did anyone feel the crystalline structures on that comet?
No, I didn't.
It has a lot of them, and they're underneath the surface of it. It also has in its tail a lot of particles that it uses to send things out and communicate with other planets and other stars. So it actually feeds messages from the planet you're calling Vega, and then I forgot the name that you used, Iris, but I don't think there's an incompatibility in the fact that I think Vega is the name that we might have provided for that star, but I don't know that it's the name the star calls itself. And so what I think you have gotten is both sets of names. So I think that's good. The star definitely has a different name from itself, from whatever we call it. And it is in this, we can see it from this planet. All right. Good. And Iris, did you want to send some of that to Teresa?
Sure.
Teresa, what are you experiencing?
Thank you, Iris. It was very supportive energy, kind of like almost had an aquatic or water feel to it, like waves or a tide that would come in slowly but powerfully, waves that would go back out again slowly and powerfully. Supporting, nurturing, just a very lovely, lovely feeling.
Nice. Could you feel the comet?
The comet was more like like little prings of, like, if you had the tide going in, the comet was more like sprays of water that would bounce on the top of the waves.
Were you aware of the way you were sending each of them? Is it Iris? I'm sorry if I called you the wrong thing. I forget.
No problem. Mhm. No problem. Mhm.
Could you feel the way that you sent them?
My intention, I'm still very new to be aware and formulate, and from there formulate what is happening. I felt more like this magnetic offering for balance, but I did not necessarily well, waves, if it's water or a different medium, you know, I cannot really pinpoint it what it is. It was more my intention as a love offering for the highest good for Teresa, as well as for Judy earlier, to provide that. And then they take what they need, you know, but I cannot specify. I don't feel energy that way yet.
It's okay. You did great. It was very interesting to me because the energy stayed separate but intertwined.
They intertwined, you said?
Yeah, they stayed separate instead of coexisting in the same space. They intertwined with each other, and then slowly, as that energy was going toward Teresa, one got on top of the other. And it's like it was riding that star energy, but they were communicating with each other the whole way. It was very interesting. Could anybody else sense how they went? Did any of you get that feeling about them?
Yeah, before you were having people send to each other, when I was just tuning in, I felt like one was sort of like this really beautiful blue star, and it was moving. And then all of a sudden there was like this orange energy that was following it, and it was wavy. It was like almost like a, you know, it was just so fluid and undulating, right? They were moving together, but I was like, ooh, what is that? And then a little bit later, you're like, oh, and there's a comet. I'm like, it's a wavy comet.
Yes, that's its tail. The tail is bigger than the primary material of that comet. The tail is huge.
Yeah, yeah. It like kind of reminded me of like a dragon's tail or something, but it was softer and just very like graceful, slow waviness. Very fluid.
Right. Do know that everyone may experience it slightly differently because we're all different people with different needs. And so when it hits us, it gives us what we need from it. And so if you think there's any incompatibility in anything people say, it isn't, because when it hits us, we receive what we need from that particular energy, and the changes in us may not be exactly the changes in another person, but there will be similarities. So there can be slightly different experiences. But most of you also speak similarly of it. It's a wonderful effect. All right, so that great, big, huge blue star is hanging around very patiently, but starting to get impatient. And it's going to open up and download all of us.
I got the name now, Regal. That's the name I got. I couldn't figure it out before, but then it came.
You know, in Star Trek, there's a star named Roger. They talk about it in all the different Star Treks. Whew. This one's different from the others. And this star really wants you to pay attention. There's a lot of information about the development of the universe in it. How the universe develops, different stages of the development of any being, because we all follow to some degree the stages that the universe undertakes. As all of us are connected and all of us are alive and conscious. And then it's going to go into your hands and your feet. It's filling up the core, it's going into your cells. It's opening up places in your DNA that we're not expressing. And then Polaris has appeared. It's not as big. And they're going to harmonize. And all of us are between them. So as they harmonize, they're sending waves back and forth to each other through us, which is also part of their initiatory process. Hard to talk when your tongue's vibrating. And whatever your vibration was, it's not that anymore. They're providing you with a glimpse of the source energy at source. So Donna, what was that like for you?
You surprised me. When you mentioned Polaris, I had a very strong zapping feeling, I guess, from my crown to my heart through my chest. So interestingly enough, that was the strongest that I felt, along with the comment earlier.
Yes, they're higher intensity.
Mhm.
Some of them are very radiant and others are more piercing and high intensity. So seems like you are feeling the ones that have that higher intensity a little more than you do the radiating, the gentle radiating ones.
Yes, I have not felt the gentle ones, but the other two are like fireworks going off inside, kind of like when you said the crystalline. I guess I felt that kind of like sparkle.
Yep. They do. There is no doubt that they do. All right. And see if you can gather up some of that energy. I want you to gather up one. And send it to Jane. Keep that stream going. And gather up the other. And send it to Ralph. Jane, what'd you feel?
I felt like the third one we did, which I felt there was a horizontal line sort of coming in towards me with a lot of power, soft power, and it's absorbed into my body, and it seemed to go on for eternity. And that's what I felt there on less intense level. And I felt that it was full of information that went on for eternity. Now, the second one we did, I got yellow, soft yellow, and then I got a very soft, you said it was like a mudslide, but for me, I kept getting like waves that had a muted white to it, very muted white that came in and was absorbed through me. But the one that was just sent to me was the third one.
Good. Ralph?
I felt it in my heart initially, and then it seemed to be the information from the star and from the work just seemed to be programmed into the bones of my skull. And then the light just expanded out with energy from people sending it.
And Donna, you want to explain what you sent and how it felt to you?
Actually, interestingly enough, as soon as you said to send it, my entire chest just exploded. And a million little, I think like Allie described it maybe earlier, just chips of glass just burst out.
Crystals.
Yes. Yes, I was not expecting it.
And could you tell the difference between what you sent to Jane and what you sent to Ralph? People keep moving around on the screen, so I have to go, where'd they go?
Could I tell the difference between what I sent to Jane and what I sent to who else?
Ralph.
Oh, Ralph. Oh, yes, interestingly enough, to Jane is when the crystals exploded out of my chest. And to Ralph, I did not have the same intensity.
A different experience. So
Very, very much. Yes, it was interesting, which I questioned if it was the way that they were receiving it, or was it the way I was sending it? I don't know.
well, they were different energies, so it came out of you differently because they're different energies. That was part of it. Secondly, your heart opened more as you were doing that. You had like a grand opening of your heart. It said, grand opening. Come on now. Visit this, because this is great. We've got something to give you. And rushed out. That was fabulous. And it did shift and change when you began to send it to Ralph. Still a steady stream, but it seemed like a quieter and less crystalline type of energy. So Teresa's saying that they lost power and she got kicked off of Zoom. So but that she really liked the star energy. So we've another one down. Donna, that was great, and I'm happy you participated.
Well, thank you for pulling me in, and I will go back behind my curtain.
You can participate all you want.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so let's see what else how much time we have left. We're getting close to the end, I think. Oh, aren't we getting close to the end?
We have about 15 minutes.
But just enough time for a prayer is all we need.
I'm glad I glanced down at the time, because I am no respecter of time, but I'll try to be, but I'm not good at it. All right. We're going to ask you all to say who you wish to receive a prayer. Just say their name. All at once. Everybody say. Good. I was trying to see if anybody's still saying it yet. A couple of them are.
What was the question?
I was trying to see if anybody else was still saying names, and a couple of people were still saying names. So.
Are we ending at 9 or 9:30?
At 9.
Okay.
Good. So all the stars have gathered around, and they want you to send the star energy. They're all going to coordinate and fixate through each of you, because you all received access to those energies in one way or another. And they're going to send the healing out to everyone you mentioned. And they will pick and choose how it goes into those people. So we're going to say the prayer. they're going to start beaming through you, and you're sending it to everyone. Divine Infinite Spirit and our beautiful stars, which is everybody on the screen and everybody hanging out in space. Thank you for being with us, for being one with us, for flowing through us and all around us. We ask that we are clear, centered, grounded, balanced, aligned, and filled with light, love, peace, and joy. And we say, ask that this radiation and wavy, intense, crystalline, star-filled energy goes everywhere it's needed. And it went even into the earth itself. It's rushing through the ley lines of the planet. So it's supporting the strengthening of the energy of the planet. As its fate unfolds. Clearing the way for everyone to sense their own needs and where they need to go from here, as well as being pulled along in the direction of the stars. Our roots are intermingling, like we're seeding the planet with growth. And that goes up into each person mentioned. And the ones you didn't mention. A reinforcement of the human condition in a profoundly impacting manner. And each of us is being touched again by a portion of the consciousness that is very in tune with us, of these beings. At some point, each of you has been associated with a stars. That's why they came to this group. And your star beingness will support your earth beingness. And your earth beingness will support humankind. And all consciousness on the planet, which is everything that is. And I hear, learn what you can do. For there are no limits to understanding. That's a message to all of us. And to everyone you mentioned. All right. I was about to ask if anyone had anything they wanted to say to the group. Do you have something to say to the group? Elizabeth.
Yes, I do. I want to say that I really think how amazing the universe is that on the Wesak full moon today and the lunar eclipse today, that these stars have decided to show up for us. I think that's not a coincidence, of course, but it's just unbelievable because these stars, these suns, are also assisting our great central sun in the ascension of our planet and in the ascension of all living beings on Mother Earth. And so they are an integral part, and they are more and more sending the appropriate energies to all of us, ready to receive them. And so I want to thank you so much for bringing them in. And a lot of them feel like home, as if we really know some of these stars very well. So thank you so much.
Lovely. Thank you, Elizabeth. Does anybody else have anything they want to share? Nas, you look like you have something to share.
I think it was beautiful, and it was the right thing at the right time. And I felt a lot of energy and a lot of healing on top of the energy. So it was much appreciated. So
I think you got that. Thank you for coming. It's lovely to have you. Kimber?
As repeated from others, truly needed at this time. Each one was so different and really special to feel resonate deep within. Really appreciate that from you and from the group.
It was this group that did it. This group wasn't what I intended to do. It just happened because of this group. That's why I have trouble giving names to these presentations. I call them whatever, continuing education, because it's always perfect for the group that shows up. And I'd rather go there than plan something out and then have to scrap it because this group needs a particular thing. You had a question, Iris?
I wanted to share also my gratitude. I understood something in my human consciousness. You expanded it completely in a sense where it's like, duh. It's like I understood something, duh. Like, you know, outer stars and other galaxies and other dimensions. I was always pushing out in a sense like, yeah, let me understand first who I am. And then I can think about all the other things. But I'm not separate. I so understood this finally. It's like when you're driving through a car wash and your car is stationary and the machinery moves. You could swear you're moving, but it's the machinery moving. It's the illusion of the perspective, that we buy into the perspective, which convince us of certain things which are limitations. And thank you so much. I understood something in my humanness today.
Thank you, everybody. Michael, did I see you ask? No, he's talking to someone else. Okay. Anybody else? And then we'll be gone.
I just wanted to say thank you, Wanda. That was lovely.
I'm glad you all enjoyed it. You are all wonderful. And I love you all. And I look forward to seeing everybody soon. Once a month. And bye.
Bye, Wanda. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Wanda.
I
Thank
want
you.
to thank you. Much love to everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Wanda. You're the best.
I think that about all of you.
Thank you, Wanda. This is beautiful and very lovely. Really appreciate you and everyone. Thank you so much.
Hey, Wanda, I have a question. I've been led to do healing and activate the communication nodules at an end of a healing to kind of turn them all on. And they kind of twinkle. And then does that have anything to do with tonight?
She's laying on her own, Ricky.
Everybody should be. That was a full communication with otherness than yourself. Although it's still ourself as well, but outside of whatever you think of as you, with a bigger consciousness. And it requires having that communication system be fully aglow in order to achieve that communication. So the first one really got that communication band into an active state so that it could receive more. And then as we went along, it was tweaked along the way so that you could continue to use your all of the energy that you receive to continue to activate people's communication systems. We're lost if we don't communicate with each other at this point. It's so important, not just for us on the planet, but for us as our future selves, where we're out in space and interacting with people on other planets, with beings on other planets, which is coming soon. So it's just very important for us to learn how to interface properly, resonate with and understand our fellow beings. So one of the reasons you feel that it's so important to do that is because it is. And this helped with that.
So it seems like I'm just taking the star's juice and it's easier to turn them all on with that kind of juice. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, yeah, because they're accustomed to communicating on vast levels. So you're helping raise the frequency of each of those communication nodules so that they understand more and can translate and participate in the conveyance of stronger impulses for the furtherance of understanding. Not just with each other, but for the furtherance of understanding of what's happening to us.
Mhm. So it's not just turning them on, it's allowing them to communicate out there. Hmm. Thank you.
Welcome. Any other questions? All right. Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Donna.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye, Les.